Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining me for this video today. My name's Leanne. Welcome to my channel, In the Garden Again. I'm actually in the garden again this time. I'm going to take this video to get you guys caught up on what's going on my little suburban farm here. I'm gardening on half an acre. That's how big our lot is. My garden is not a half acre big. Hey girl! This is my kitty cat, Bubble Jan. She's very sweet. Let's get started with this update. It's going to sort of be a garden tour too. Stay tuned if you want to see what's going on and what's growing here in Eastern North Carolina right now. Starting over here, got some onions. I just harvested the scapes off of them and made like an onion scape powder. Basically like working with green onions. I'll show you what a scape looks like because I left some of them on. They look all bent over and sad because the dogs have no boundaries. See, this is where I cut an onion scape off. I left the ones that were particularly large on because I want to save the seeds from them. This one looks like it's just about to open up. Yes, Jack? Well, could ya? There's a younger one. People say, and I believe it's also true, that learning how to save seeds is one of the biggest things you can do to have a self-sustaining system with growing food. So that is something that I've only done with like melons and flowers so far. I've done it a long time ago with a tomato from the store, but this time I'm gonna get those little mesh bags with the pull strings and I'm going to try to save seeds of things in a way where I know for sure that they did not cross-pollinate with anything else, so that I know that I'm going to be getting the same thing every year. Okay, so as we move along, kitty cat's being a ninja. Over here is my Blackberry. It's full of flowers and buds, and some of them are starting to turn into berries. That's the only blackberry bush that I've got. It's a couple of canes. And then these are my raspberries. Starting to put off their leaves. If you haven't seen the video yet, I posted a video explaining my gravity-fed irrigation system. We got 3 rain barrels to collect rain, obviously, but if we don't ever get enough rain, I just fill them with the hose. I have this raised bed and that raised bed full of radishes and snow peas, mostly snow peas here. The first set is on this end of this bed and that end of that bed, and they're like pulling the twine down, so I need to figure out a better way to do the twine. But so far they look nice. The radishes that are growing better are in there, and let me show you. Let's harvest one really quick. I just thinned them out the other day so that they would bulb up. Let's see. Is this one ready? These are black radishes. And I really like this variety so far. I have yet to taste it. So my husband's in the military. He actually recently came back from deployment. He asked me to send him seeds so that he could have a little garden there. He never ended up using the seeds, so he brought them home, but I did a little research to make sure that that the seeds that I sent him would grow. So they're all these like funky varieties that I would not typically get for here, but they'll grow here just fine, I think. So far, so good. These actually grow better than the radishes that I had already. Which this bed, I had sown radish seeds that are barely coming up anymore. Pretty sad. So I filled in the gaps with some flower seeds, and I need to just be better about watering it to make sure they actually come up. This bed, I have herbs growing in. I started them from seed, so they're still very little. I'll show you up close though. Here we have some dill. I've got one right here. Can't really see it that well because it's so bright. I think this is a weed, but I'm not sure. Got a little sage sprig right there. There should be 2 sage sprigs, but I've only noticed one. Yeah, Jack? That sounds like a great idea. And then over here, I have some cilantro. I think I have a fire ant in my shoe.
Mommy,
Yeah?
how big is it?
You see this radish?
Wow.
Put this here for now.
Did you see this snow is big?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Remember how I showed you how to pull it off? There you go. That's good. That way you don't pull the whole thing down. Now, let me put the camera down. Oh, he's growing over here. Look, there's one right here.
That one's bigger.
Can you show me how many you got, dude? Yeah, you got a handful?
No.
And I got a handful?
No, I got a little handful.
Yeah. It's a good amount to snack on, I think. Go to the park later and have some snacky snacks. Here's a good one. I like to harvest them when they're smaller because if they get too big, then they're not as good. Still eat them, they're just not as good. I think we found all the good sized ones. I have some more plants to show you guys. Not a whole lot more to harvest this morning. Well, I could harvest some lettuce. I get some scissors. So, I will just stay focused and show you what's growing. Here we've got radishes and cucumbers. I need to give the cucumbers something to grow up before they get too big, but I've got 3 cucumbers growing, or it did. Looks like one got eaten up. I've been having a hard time keeping cucumbers alive. There was, oh, here it is. It looked like a radish because it got chewed on. I've been having a hard time keeping cucumbers alive, so I've been covering them with these just to get them old enough, because this one hasn't been messed with at all since it sprouted its true leaves. Okay, so hopefully I can keep those 3 alive. The radishes are supposed to help keep the cucumber beetles away. We'll see if that's true. What's the matter, Jessie? Same thing with this bed, and then I have a volunteer zinnia growing. Oh man, looks like the chickens ate the cucumbers out of here. Gosh, dang it. I have one that's still right there. Stupid chickens. They keep getting out, eating my stuff. I know they got one here too. Companion planting is a really great way to keep pests away because of it basically just camouflages. I did a little bit of experimenting here. Let me show you. This head of lettuce, you can see I cut it once and it's grown back this much. This head of lettuce I cut further down and it isn't growing back at all. So I think if you do the cut and come again method, you don't want to cut all the way at the base. Hey, dude. Okay. Over here, I have some butter crunch lettuce, a random lettuce volunteer. I planted some spinach seeds here. This was kale. Looks like the chickens ate it up a lot. But I've got some spinach growing here. That's what this is. This is a Malabar spinach. I don't want that growing in here. Hey, go give this to the chickens. This is the butter crunch lettuce. So this butter crunch lettuce I grew in my Haas Tools tray. And I love the Haas Tools trays. However, the lettuce over there, the Lola Rosa lettuce, I used the soil blocks. Transplanted them, no transplant shock. I don't know if this is a difference because of the variety, but the butter crunch lettuce has taken a lot longer to get started off. Now the soil is also different. So I don't know if it has anything to do with it starting in the Haas Tools tray or starting in the soil blocks. But I did notice a difference that these 2 beds though do have different soil. So I'll chalk it up to that more than the trays. Just something interesting that I observed. I'm excited to start harvesting more green lettuces. The chickens keep getting out and eating my spinach, so I'm not gonna get a whole lot of that. Hey, don't do that. It's not nice. Also, Malabar spinach self-seeds like crazy. Look at all that. I've been pulling like a handful out every day and tossing it to the chickens to eat. this bed, I'm just gonna let the Malabar spinach take over. Yeah. Yeah, those are gonna be raspberries. Okay. This was where the greenhouse was. Don't break it. Took the plastic down. If you didn't see my previous video, I learned that it proved to be foolish to build a greenhouse in which we could take the plastic off for hurricane season because it was not very secure, obviously. So I traded the greenhouse plastic for, I didn't trade it, I switched it out for insect netting to keep the vine borers off so that I can get a good harvest of zucchini. And it looks like these plants are just about to start putting off flowers. And then I'll just hand pollinate. I don't have too many. It won't be a big deal to hand pollinate. So I think. And my husband's going to reuse this wood to build a bigger chicken coop. He's already got it started and it's pretty cool, but I'm gonna wait to reveal that until it's done because it's kind of exciting and I want it to be a big surprise. Over here are my tomatoes. They look very sad this year, actually. I planted out very little plants. And they look like they're starting to bounce back. But I did buy a couple from a local farmer and they got sick. And this is one of them and it died. And I was really sad because it's a special San Marzano. But they both got sick. And I waited to plant the other out. But this one is like completely toast, so. Boo. So I might buy more tomato plants here in a bit. I want to get them from a good place though. They do look like they're doing better. I really just need to keep the chickens off of them. My ground cherries. Okay, so this is the other San Marzano. And this one looks like it's starting to recover. And I planted the ground cherries out here, but I think the chickens may have gotten at most of them. Got one right there. I might direct sow some. I may even see about direct sowing some tomato seeds out. This is where I planted out my peppers. Some of them bit the dust. This has not been the year for starting seeds indoors for me, to be honest. But the garden is still really full, so honestly, I'm really not that bummed about it. I've got these little lettuce plants here that I'm going to be taking to the market. This tray is full of, I think it's marigold. No, this one is basil and collards. This one is marigolds. There are a few I've taken out because the first succession was big enough to up pot, but the second succession is not so. That's why it's got some taken out. Those are some extra peppers. Let's go to the shed. Honestly, I think these could probably get a little bit bigger. I'm gonna rip the greens off and throw them to the chickens before we go to the shed and show you what's changed in there. Don't mind the messy yard. It's not all the kids' fault. As you can see, those are my shoes. This is going to have green beans growing up, but I just put this in. It's like 8 feet tall, maybe even taller. Don't mind the music in the background, that's a toy. He's a good boy who likes to dig holes in my yard. Okay, this is the garlic bed, and on the end here, closest to us, I have onions. So I don't think I'm gonna grow garlic here in the future because it's really not doing that great. It's not very big at all. I think, if I remember correctly, it was way thicker last year. I could just be remembering wrong. But I'm gonna let these stay in until like July, I think. I harvested them a little bit early just because I was so excited last year, and they were pretty small. So I'm just gonna leave them in for a really long time. That's the plan. Oh, look at here. They're putting off an onionscape. This is some lemon balm. The tractor's in the shed. It smells really good. That actually came back from last year. Now open the door for me. All right, guys, this is real life that I'm sharing with you. I wanted to get a video out today, and so I didn't clean up this first because I knew that if I got started cleaning this up, I wouldn't have time to get a video out. So this is what it looks like most of the time. This is what's new. I got a new shelf, first of all, and then I had this idea to put my old little greenhouse tent cover over the shelf in hopes that it would keep rodents out. So far, it's really annoying to have it on it. So I might just take it off and continue to grow my microgreens in these little clear plastic clamshells. To show you, I'm holding a child, so this is difficult. So I've got some radishes and beets growing in here right now at this stage. I have some in blackout right now where I will, actually just need to turn these lights off because they don't need to be on right now while these are in blackout. These are going to be exposed to the light probably in another day. I heard in a video somewhere you want to have them in blackout for 3.5 days and under the light for 3.5 days or so. So that's what I'm experimenting with right now. I'm going to squirt these with water later. But yeah, this is my attempt to keep the rodents out of the microgreen trays. I'm going to start a tray, probably just one. I got these shallow trays for microgreens. I'll just start one to see if this thing is good enough to keep the rodents out. I'm not comfortable growing microgreens knowing there's rodents in here and serving them to people. So that's why I was growing them in the clamshell. Got proof of rodents right here. Look at that. Those are beet seeds. So I'm gonna take all my seeds inside actually. I'm not gonna leave that up to the will of the rodent. Got some in this basket and some up here. So yeah, once it's cleaned up, it's actually a lot nicer to have things oriented this way because I did have the grow shelf or I had this workbench up against this wall before. So that is that. Hoping to get some more grow lights here too. All right, I'm gonna walk you guys through my front garden beds. This is a little dogwood tree. I have a few things that have sprung up in this front bed along the fence, and I marked what I think they might be. Some things I'm not sure what they are. Some things I know are weeds. This in particular, I'm not sure if it's a weed or if it's something I intentionally planted, so I'm leaving it. Let me see. I'll show you the things that I know are weeds. There's mostly what we're passing right now. Most of those are weeds, I'm pretty sure. Things that I'll get close up to, I think, are my intentional growth. I sowed a bunch of different kinds of flower seeds in here. I really don't know what that's going to be. Maybe a zinnia. Let's see. What else do we have here? That I'm pretty sure is a larkspur, or it could be a cosmos. Cosmos. That's another tree. I think it's a dogwood. I forget what I planted there, but I know it's some kind of a tree. Let's see. Don't know what that is. Maybe a zinnia. Could be anything. I should have wrote down the seeds that I sowed in the front bed. But I didn't because I'm not organized. Let's see. What else do we have in this front bed? See, I did label some of them, but I'm pretty sure I labeled that wrong. Oh dear. My life. It's okay. Hopefully it'll be beautiful. This flower bed, I mean. And it's my drip tape Hoss Tools irrigation. Let's see. All right, over here I've got some spinach growing. I just wanted to throw spinach in a bunch of different places so that I could have more than I did last year. Been cutting some off of it here and there. It's been nice to have more spinach. Same thing over here. I've got like a couple of flowers that sprung up and my roses are budding. Also, I forgot to prune these earlier in the year, so they're kind of obnoxious, but they've got lots of buds all over them, so I'm pretty excited to see them bloom. Very nice. I've got a mint. I've been trying to keep it under control. And then over here I've got some sunflower and zinnias and yarrow at the far end. And this is my rosemary that got hurt by some frost, but I think it's coming back. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. No idea. All right. That's what's in this front bed. I'll show you the corners now. All right. This is a crepe myrtle. I got it as a bare root and it started putting off leaves, so I'm super excited because crepe myrtles are so pretty. And same with this. This is another crepe myrtle. So excited! And I have a little bonus volunteer in this bed, which I'm very excited about. I'll show you guys that in a second. Look at it! It's a zinnia. Woohoo!
Mommy!
Thank you guys so much for watching this video and hanging out with me. I am so excited for this gardening season. I know this is not the year for starting seeds for me, but it's still a lot of fun. I'm probably gonna buy some plants to supplement where I had some die, and then I'll probably try to start some directly outside and experiment with starting peppers from seed outside and starting tomatoes from seed outside and see how they compare with the other ones. But with that, thank you again for watching this video, and if you need a friend to learn how to garden with, I'm your girl. Thanks again for watching, and check out my Etsy shop if you want to have a fun gardening t-shirt. I've got a couple up there. Anyways, bye guys.